Yesterday we heard that the death toll from Covid-19 in the UK had passed 100,000. 100,000 lives lost, 100,000 families torn apart, 100,000 stories brought to an end. At times like this, the deepest need within us is to grieve. This is not a time for rationalising or for blaming. It's not a time for the stiff upper lip or even for well-meaning Christian platitudes. God hasn't stopped being good, but in His goodness, He gives us space to lament. We're tired. Many of us are hanging on by a thread, and the words of the psalmist ring true for us. How long, Lord? How long before this is all over? At times we feel we just can't take any more. How long will we live under the shadow of this virus? God isn't frightened of these questions, neither is He offended by them. He's not uncomfortable with your grief. The Bible tells us that God is near to the brokenhearted. Ask Him to draw near to you today. We identify with these words from the book of Lamentations. Peace has been stripped away, and I've forgotten what prosperity is. I cry out, my splendour is gone. Everything I had hoped for from the Lord is lost. The thought of my suffering and homelessness is bitter beyond words. I will never forget this awful time as I grieve over my loss. But we're also hopeful. We are determined. We are resolute. We are faith-filled, and we are not done yet. Because that passage continues and it says this, "Yet I still dare to hope when I remember this. The faithful love of the Lord never ends. His mercies never cease. Great is His faithfulness. His mercies begin afresh every morning. I say to myself, the Lord is my inheritance. Therefore, I will hope in Him." It's right that hearing about over 100,000 deaths would lead us to grieve and to lament. But let's remember that we lament with God, and therefore our lament leads us to a place of hope, a place where we can say, yet I still dare to hope. I dare to hope that things can get better. I dare to hope in the goodness of God. I dare to hope in the reality of heaven. I dare to hope just simply in the person of Jesus, who is the source of our hope. I want to encourage you today, as you're seeing reports on the news, let that lead you to a place of lament before God that leads to hope. Why don't you take a minute at the end of this video now, a time is going to come on the screen, and just pray and reflect upon what's going on in our nation and our world. Pray for our government, pray for our National Health Service, and pray for those families of the 100,000 who have lost a loved one. Maybe you know somebody who's lost their life to this virus. Pray for their families. Let's lament with God, because lamenting that way leads us to a place of hope. God bless you.